Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into something pretty profound, a question I think we all ask ourselves at some point. Is there some kind of rule book for life? We're going to explore this whole idea through the incredible work of Cynthia Unger.
I mean, seriously, haven't we all been there? You're doing your thing, you're trying your best, but there's just this little nagging feeling, right? Like you're missing a key piece of the puzzle. Like if someone just handed you the instructions, everything would suddenly click into place.
Well, here's the big idea we're jumping into today. What if that rule book has been here the entire time? What if there are these fundamental principles that kind of govern how the universe works, and if we just learn to understand them, we can start building a life that feels more authentic, more meaningful, and just plain better.
So in her book, An Introduction to the Universal Laws, Cynthia Unger talks about these principles. And she doesn't frame them as these rigid, scary rules, but more like a guide, a roadmap. She actually calls it a magical journey of discovering how our own thoughts and our energy literally shape the world around us. So what do you say? Let's start that journey.
Okay, first up is the big one, the one that really holds everything else together, the law of divine oneness. You can think of this as the master key, the one that unlocks our understanding of all the other laws.
You know, this law basically says that none of us are just floating around on our own little islands. Every single thought we have, every word we say, every action we take, it all creates a ripple effect. It teaches us that we are all part of this huge interconnected web of energy, and what we put out there, it has to come back to us. And this is how we make that huge idea practical. It's not about some grand gesture, it's about the small stuff, the daily practices. You know, starting a little gratitude journal, just taking a beat before you speak, or deciding to do one small act of kindness. These are the things that start to create those positive ripples. So that leads us right into our next section, because if we're all connected, then the energy that we personally contribute to that web is, well, it's incredibly important. This next part is all about understanding your own energetic blueprint. So the core idea here is that our feelings are way more than just emotions. They're actual energetic frequencies. The law of vibration says everything is always moving, always vibrating. Think of it like a radio, right? Love, joy, gratitude, those are high-frequency signals. They tune you into positive experiences. But fear and anger, those are lower frequency signals, and they tend to tune you into, well, the opposite.
So if we follow that logic, the energy you're putting out there, your personal vibration, it isn't just a reaction to what's happening to you. It's actually the starting point. It's the cause that kicks off this powerful chain of events.
And that brings us to the effect, the law of attraction. Now, this isn't about wishful thinking. It's the idea that the universe responds, like for like, to the energetic signal that you are constantly broadcasting, whether you realize it or not. To put it super simply, you get what you vibrate. If you're constantly focused on what's wrong, on frustration, you're sending out a low-frequency signal that's just going to attract more of the same. But if you can shift your focus to gratitude, to possibility, you tune your energetic magnet to a higher frequency, and you start drawing in those positive experiences. Okay, so we're getting the theory, right? We're all connected, and our vibration attracts our reality. But the big question is, how do we actively use this? This next section is all about the practical, hands-on stuff for creating the reality you actually want. Oh man, this is one of the most powerful and simplest tools from the book. Just look at this shift. Changing two little words, from I have to I get to, completely transforms an obligation into an opportunity. I have to go to work becomes I get to go to work. I have to drive the carpool becomes I get to spend time with the kids. This simple rephrase can change your entire day and instantly raise your vibration. It's a game changer.
And here's another wonderfully simple tool, gratitude. Seriously, the practice of just writing down 5 things you're grateful for each day can fundamentally shift your energy. It's a conscious choice to focus on what you have, on abundance, and according to the law of attraction, that's just going to draw more of it right into your life.
And this is what brings us full circle. That tiny shift in perspective, that simple gratitude list, that is the ripple effect from the law of oneness in action. See? When you lift your own energy, you don't just change your own world. You create this positive ripple that actually touches everyone you interact with. So, we've covered some pretty profound concepts here, from our deep interconnection to our own personal power. But this explainer, it's not the finish line. Nope, it's the starting gate. Your personal journey with these laws, it begins right now.
I want to leave you with this really powerful quote from the book because it just perfectly sums up the core message. We get so caught up in what's happening around us, right? But these laws teach us that our true power, it lies within. Your inner state is what creates your outer world.
So the key takeaway here is that this isn't just some philosophy to ponder. It's a practical toolkit. It's about taking ownership of your energy, actively looking for things to be grateful for, and intentionally choosing the thoughts that will build the life you really want to live. So, you've been introduced to the roadmap. You have the tools, you understand the principles. The only question left is the one right here. What reality will you choose to create? Thanks so much for joining me on this little exploration.